Okay, I think we're almost live. I'm just gonna double check.
Okay.
Yeah, looks like we're live. Perfect. Awesome. All righty. Hi, everybody. Thanks a lot for joining. I'm here on the .com Truths podcast with Craig Lillard, who's the CEO of ClipScribe, clipscribe.com, which I'll tell a little bit about it in a moment. But if you're joining us live and you're leaving a comment, then great. I'd love to hear from you. Leave a comment. We'll definitely answer any questions at the end or throughout or whatever. If you're watching the replay, just do #replay so I can see if it's a replay, and I'll make sure I answer as well. And stick around to the end. We got a special coupon as well. You know me, I'm just going to tell you straight up, there's going to be a coupon for a discount for your software. If you want it, you want it. If you don't, you don't. We're going to chat about business in general and a whole bunch of stuff. I love doing those interviews because to me, Craig does stuff that I want to do, which is a software company. So I'm here to learn and ask hard questions and so on. So I think it's going to be fun, and hopefully you'll enjoy it. So thanks for being here, Craig.
Thank you for having me. I look forward to it.
Yeah. Why don't you just tell us a little bit about, your background? You've been an entrepreneur for 20 years, had 3 video companies. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so I've always done stuff in the video space. I actually majored in video when I was in college many moons ago, but I really did not think I was actually going to do anything with it. And it keeps haunting me. Video keeps haunting me. And so I keep making these video companies. But I've been a solopreneur. My first company was 2001. I launched, it was bootstrapped, got some credit cards and took home equity loan, out of my house, and started what was basically it was like an educational video educational company. I was really marketed to churches, and it was kind of like an educational tool that churches could use with teenagers, like high school age. Kind of had like a little MTV vibe to it. And I just launched that. I had some video equipment. Actually, to go back a little bit, I was doing web design on the side, and I was actually working at a church, was kind of what got into this. I was working with students but I was doing web design, just design. It was back when the internet, was just starting, like 1997. And I was really enjoying it. I didn't really know that much about it, but I'd always been in computers. But a buddy of mine started bartering websites for just different stuff that he wanted.
Yeah.
And I had never considered that before. He came driving up in a Hummer one day, like the original big tank, like Hummer, the huge one. And I was like, where did you get this Hummer? He said, I traded a website with the Hummer dealership for a year-long lease on this Hummer. And I was like, are you kidding me? And then he takes me out to his garage, and he had an MG car, those old little MG cars that are cute and little convertible. And he said, yeah, I'm bartering with a mechanic to restore my MG car for a website. And I thought, man, that is amazing. So I started doing the same thing. I went to a flooring company. I wanted hardwood floors in my house. I said, hey, I'll build you a website if you'll give me hardware flooring in my kitchen. And they were like, okay. And I said, great. And the funny thing about that, the funny thing about that is, like, they never got me what I needed to make their website. I just kept saying, hey, I need the info, and it just kind of fizzled out. So I got the hardwood floors, but they never got their stuff together so I could actually make them the website. So, hey, if you guys still need a website, let me know. I was like 20 years ago. And then one of these nonprofits, I had made their website. I needed a video camera because we had our first child. My wife and I had our first child. Our second child was going to be born soon, and I didn't have a video camera. I worked at a church. I wasn't making hardly any money, so didn't have any money to afford any kind of video camera. So I started thinking, what can I do to get like a really nice camera that maybe I can use in my web design business? And I just put together this proposal. I went to these guys I'd done this website for. It was a nonprofit. And I said, look, if you'll buy me all this video gear, a new computer, editing software, audio, lighting. It was $8,000 worth of stuff, basically.
Wow. Wow.
I said, if you'll buy me all this, I'll make you guys 2 professional videos. And I guarantee you that you'll like them. You'll be glad you did it, or else I'll pay you back. And of course, the entrepreneurial side of my mind saying, I'm just going to have to keep making them until they like them, because the payback thing is going to be sketchy. But they were like, yeah. And back then, $8,000 was still cheaper than if you had like a video company, because back then everything was, one video camera is like $50,000.
Yeah.
And this was right when like the affordable stuff was coming out where you could get good quality. And so they said, yeah, let's do it. And I always say it was like Christmas in June for me, because I was buying stuff that I never dream of having, great Canon camera and all this stuff. And so basically I had all that stuff. I made their videos. They liked their videos. So I met that requirement. And then I thought, well, I've got all this video gear. Why don't I use it to start a business? And that's when I started creating this basically like a video membership. And we make these videos and sell them to churches. I put a magazine ad out, started getting orders. And within 3 months, I had replaced my salary at this church I was working at. And they were like, look, you got to pick here, because, you got to do one or the other. And I said, well, this looks like this is taking off. So I resigned and started doing that full time. And that's how I started, my first company right there.
Wow. So you're creating videos, custom videos to companies.
It wasn't custom. So they were what I called video illustrations. So it would be like a 1 to 5 minute video clip that would just illustrate a point. So my wife was working with me. We'd go on the street and we'd do on the street interviews, and we just ask, what stresses you out, or, what do you worry about, or just different stuff like that. And then so we do that. We do like kind of Dateline style interviews where we'd find usually like a teenager who had some interesting thing going on in their life or their family. And so we'd interview them about that story. And so we put together a video, usually with like 6 of these video illustrations, and they would sign up for an annual subscription. So they would get one of these videos a quarter. So every quarter I was having to crank out another one of these, these videos that had 6 of these illustrations on it. So that's how it worked.
And all your customers will be able to use the same video, basically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I mean, if they wanted to. Ironically, the thing that ended up putting me out of business was crowdsourcing, because, everything went to crowdsourcing. And so a couple websites launched that basically said, hey, anybody can make these video illustration videos, make them, upload them, and we'll sell them for you. And I was doing like the CD, the record model versus like the Spotify model, buy a record or buy a tape and you get all the songs, whether you like them or not. And of course they were doing the Spotify model. You can buy one song if you want to. And I knew that was either I would have to compete with them or I'd have to change. Yeah. And I did shift for a while. I started a website where people could subscribe and they could get all the videos that I had made. And it was a downloadable thing. It's probably one of the earliest like downloadable video type things, because it was still pretty early for that. And they could subscribe and get it. But even that, I saw, they were creeping into my market share quite a bit, and I had to do something. And so that was when I came up with my second company, which was a marketplace for people to sell stock video, basically. And so I launched that in like 2006, I believe.
So the first company was 5 years?
It was about 5 or 6 years. The funny thing is I still get checks from it, because I eventually took all those videos I made and I uploaded it to those marketplaces that kind of put me out of business. And I still get a check every month from those marketplaces.
Or whatever.
It's not much, but it's something. So it's pretty funny. But yeah.
Like Envato and Video Blocks and those ones?
No, like I said, these are targeted to churches, basically. So that's really that's their target market, but very similar to like Envato. But my second company was exactly like an Envato, or I mean, it wasn't a subscription. It was more like iStock Photo. So we were going to be the video version of iStock Photo. That was the whole point. At the time, nobody was selling what they called microstock video. You know, that you could do microstock photo, which was anybody could upload a photo and sell it through like an iStock Photo or a Shutterstock. Nobody was doing video. And so we were going to be the first company to offer stock video in that format, basically.
Interesting. That's so cool. I wanted to share my screen and give context as well on what ClipScribe is, so you can kind of put it in context with what your journey is. So
Sure.
this is my Instagram, and this is a video that I did with ClipScribe.
Yep.
So basically, just to give people an idea, basically I get a video, like a testimonial or something else, or a training video, whatever. I record it landscape, and then I upload it, and then I get the header and I get the subtitles. ClipScribe actually creates the subtitles. It's editable. You can also export it as a blog, so it's really good for content repurposing. And you can also create the sizes, not just for Instagram. You can do it for YouTube. You can do it for LinkedIn. You can do it for whatever, really, and so on. And yeah, so it gives you different options like that, and it is dead easy to use. Like, it is really, really easy to use. And also the transcription is actually really accurate. Like, I have to usually maybe 2-3 changes per video, and then it's a done deal. So give or take, I can upload a video and have a professional video looking like this in about 15 to 20 minutes, basically. Yeah. As a solopreneur, which is great, especially for short content. And then let me ask you this: do you do longer content as well with ClipScribe, or is it just short content, really?
So this is the way I put it to people. To me, ClipScribe is an attention tool more than it is a video tool. So the goal is to take your video content and amp up the attention on it, specifically in the social media feed. I say this all the time. People don't realize that over 80% of social media videos are watched without the sound on.
Totally.
So if you're going to catch somebody as they're going through the feed, you got to have text on your video, either in subtitle form or in headline form. And of course, ClipScribe does both of those. So there are people that use it for their YouTube videos, but I generally say, if somebody's going to watch a 30 or 45-minute video on YouTube, for example, I would argue you already have their attention. You know, the subtitles are more going to be just to kind of help them if they want to watch it without the sound being on. But ClipScribe is for those short video clips that you catch them. You want to bring them into your community. You want to get their attention and then send them over to your longer form content. So yes, people do use it for long form, but the sweet spot are like 1 to 5 minute marketing videos is really what the sweet spot is.
Yep. So while you're talking, I might as well just show people just so they can see how this goes. I'm going to do course step by step. You upload it, click on submit, and then it will basically take a few seconds to upload. It's really quick. This is about a 5-minute video, this particular one. And once it's done, it actually transcribes it. So at the closed captions, I will be able to add a header, add a footer, and it's all done basically. So it's really good for solopreneurs. If you're not a video editor, or you're not really technical, this is just a really, really good solution. And and then also you can actually export it into a blog if you wanted to as well, which is also good. But
I can bring up an example of the editor real quick if you want. I've got one on my screen. I can just switch over. Do you want me to do that real quick?
Actually, it will come up. We can keep chatting and come back to it once it's ready. It takes a few minutes, and then it will come. But I wanted to give some context on ClipScribe to the audience, like what the hell is ClipScribe and so on.
Totally.
I think, what is the name of that video? I did a video on YouTube reviewing your software, and I called it "How to Create Videos Like Gary Vee" or something like that. Because that's is that where it originated from, or?
Totally. Oh, without a doubt. Yeah. Yeah. So you and I talked about this a little bit, but my previous company was called Revo Stock. And about 6 years in, we got sued for patent infringement by what's called a patent troll. Basically companies that all they do is buy up or gather patents. They're usually very broad and very vague. And then they sue as many companies as they can. And for a little solopreneur, bootstrapped entrepreneur like myself, it was almost a death knell. Even though the suit was dismissed after a couple of years, it did so much damage to us that we couldn't recover from it. And that company ended up just crashing into the ground. And I had to start completely over from ground zero. Sold our house, moved into an apartment. My kids were high school age, and we just had to completely start over. So I started doing, marketing, web development again, pay-per-click ads. And that was right about the time that Gary Vee started posting a lot of video content. Right. And like he says, he turned me off at first, and then I started to really like him. He always comments on how that is with people, and that's how it was with me first, me as well. But yeah, the way he was doing his videos was very unique. And like most people, I was like, oh, I want to be able to do that. But there was no good way to do it, and I could do it the traditional way. I obviously I've been doing video for a long time. So After Effects, Premiere, I was looking for apps to do it. And everything was like, you could use one app to get your subtitles, but then you got to figure out how to get them onto your video, and you use another app to have the headlines. And there really weren't many options. If you wanted to add like an animated countdown, you'd have to create that and like After Effects and then bring that in. And so one day I'm just sitting there literally typing in my subtitles into a video I was going to post to promote a course that I was working on. And just that same thought people have, man, there's got to be an easier way to do this. Even though I'd kind of thought of it before, I think it was at that point that I thought, I think I possibly can do this, because I picked up a lot of coding from my Revo Stock days, as well as a lot of video encoding stuff, because we had to encode a lot of video. So I knew a lot about that at this point. And so I just started building it. And the first day that I got, basically I had gotten the system to print out a video that had the subtitles in it, and that's all it was. And I remember when I laid that over my original video that I had, so that the subtitles laid over it, and I hit play, and it played perfectly, and the subtitles showed up perfect. I about flipped out, and I thought, holy smokes, like it actually works.
Wow.
And at that point, I'm like, I gotta build this, but I had no idea what the market would be. I kind of thought I would give it away for free as like a lead magnet for my course, only because I had no idea if the market was there yet. I knew the market was going to be there eventually, but I didn't know if it was fully there yet. So I was kind of throwing that around. And then I got it ready to go, and I launched it in June of 2019 and ran some Facebook ads and just got sales like immediately. I'm like within 20 minutes, we got our first sale, and people were excited about it. And I thought, wow, this is going to be an actual business. And so, so started ramping it up. Yeah. And that was a little over 2 years ago.
And is this your full-time business?
It is. Yeah.
Do you have another side hustle or a job or anything, or this is your sole?
No, I did. Like I said, I was doing the marketing stuff, but ClipScribe took off so quickly that I was pretty much having to fire my clients within like 3 months, basically. Wow. And so, yeah, I was able to focus on it 100% at that point.
Wow. And then in terms of, I mean, obviously you're raising a family still.
Yep.
How do you find having that startup balancing with your life?
Well, it's all I've done. I mean, my kids now one just graduated from college and she's got her first, she's a graphic designer, just got a job with a great agency. My son still lives with us, but he's in college too. He's a junior this year. So they really 20 years. I mean, ever since they were little, like I said, I started that first business to get a video camera for my son's birth. So that's how long. And I've always worked at home, never have had, I had an outside office for a couple of years just because it was with my brother. So I've always loved it. It hasn't been a problem for me because my businesses have been pretty much the guy behind the computer type stuff. They haven't been sales or talking with people on the phone a lot. So I've loved it personally. I know some people don't like it as much, but it's been perfect for me.
That's great. That's great. So just to give you a bit of a context also, I guess when I work with my audience, I push very hard that if you want to start an online business, you don't need to buy freaking high ticket courses, buy coaching program. What you need is you need to get one skill that is good enough that someone is willing to exchange money for that skill. And I think you put a really good context on it because it's not even exchange the skill. Like even if you need equipment, great, exchange a freaking skill for the make them buy the equipment. And I can tell you, like I literally hired a video editor this month, like literally, and I paid for his equipment. That was the exchange. I literally sent him $3.5 grand and I said, here you go, buy whatever equipment you need. You're my freaking guy. I want a YouTube channel on all cylinders and I'm buying you the equipment. He's a good friend of mine. And I literally did that this month. So it is so true what you said about that. It is literally.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think back to that guy, and I told him, the guy that agreed to that deal, I'm like, man, you completely changed my whole life by trusting me to make those videos for you. Yeah. And that's what you're doing as well with this friend of yours, to put that trust into them. That completely changed everything for me. And I've even through the time where going through that lawsuit was a nightmarish hell, but I would do it all over again because it's been a blast and I absolutely love this lifestyle.
Yeah. It's good, isn't it? Amazing. Anyway, I love that context because it puts it in perspective. Like, okay, you're a software CEO now, that's great. But it all starts with a skill. You have to have a freaking skill to understand what the market actually needs. Once you understand what the market needs, you saw a need, you're like, could I develop a solution? And it is a really good solution. I really like what you created. I'm a Canva diehard as well. And I use other video, like just to give you an idea, I'm a customer of Powtoon. I'm a customer of ClipScribe. I'm a customer. I bought a thing called Spoke, Pictory, Canva, Flixier. What else? Wave Video. Like I've got tools. You know what I mean? So I buy and I test and I try and this and that and whatever. But ClipScribe is definitely like up there in terms of like the use case. I do also find that every software has a strength as well, right? And I don't mind spending more to have 3 different softwares that allegedly do the same thing. But you get a very specific solution. So like ClipScribe for me, those 1 to 3 minutes videos for social media, specifically for social media, Instagram, Facebook, for paid ads or Instagram ads, or my feed, this is what ClipScribe is designed for. I can try and do it with Wave Video. I can try and do it with Powtoon. It's painful. Whereas yours, I could get it done and it's like 20 minutes, it's done. So there's huge value.
That's exactly it.
Yeah,
that's exactly it. Yeah.
It's just a niche within the niche, really.
And I think it helps that I use it for my own content. I mean, every ClipScribe membership that has been sold has pretty much been sold because of a Facebook ad that I created with ClipScribe, And so as I'm using it, I'm thinking, oh man, it sure would make my life a lot easier if I added in this feature. And that's so much of what's happened is just because I'm using it thinking, how can I make this better for me? And I think that helps everybody.
Solving your own problem.
Yep.
I love that. I got a little secret software coming up next month that I'm going to share with my audience with an exact same scenario. Somebody running an agency created the software to solve that problem. And they're solving my problem every day now. So I'm going to bring that as well. But I love that. Like, if you have a CEO that actually solves his own problems, it's not a venture capital based company. It's like just, I mean, of course you want to be profitable, but it's not an investors pleasing focused company. It's a solving your audience problem company.
Yep.
And you don't, do you have any venture capital, or is it just you?
It's just me, man. Like I said, it's just me. I've got a couple team members but they're more contractors or VAs than anything. I'm big on automation and big on making things run lean, and I've always been that way. I can't seem to get away from it. Sometimes I don't know if it's the best way of doing things, but it's how I work.
Solopreneur style.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, so you've got a team of VAs. Do you do the development yourself?
Yes. Yeah.
So you're a developer as well.
Yeah.
Wow.
And that's something I just picked that up, and just like what you were saying about getting a skill. Yeah. Obviously this was back when web design, I mean, you didn't have to be great at it, and you really don't have to be great at it today. To be honest, because there's a lot of not great web designers that are making money doing web design. But that was a skill I started with. And then I just added to it over the years. And, the coding part happened. It really mainly happened when we got that lawsuit, because all of a sudden, all my money needed to go towards attorneys, and I couldn't be paying developers really anymore. And I started thinking, man, I needed to figure out some of this stuff myself. And I picked that up along the way too. Like, if I wanted to do something, sometimes I could just fix it faster if I just did it myself instead of let my programmer do it. So I just picked it up. Just over time, I picked it up until I got to the point where I was pretty much able to just build what I needed myself. So
amazing. Totally self-taught.
Totally. Yeah. 100%.
Where did you learn? Just Google, YouTube? Or did you do like Udemy courses or?
No, not at all. I mean, obviously, like I said, the web development was so long ago, there was none of that. And it was just playing with Microsoft front page. And I was doing so much stuff wrong. I mean, I had designed RevoStock. I hadn't done the coding on it, but it was, if you know anything about HTML and CSS, tables are not the way to make a website. And I was building everything with tables inside of tables inside of tables. So even when I launched RevoStock, it was, if a real coder or designer looked at it, they would have laughed, I think. Because it was so poorly designed. And then I started figuring out along the way, oh man, you mean I can use CSS and just put crap exactly where I want it without having to try to nest it inside 100 tables. Nobody said anything. I mean, the regular old person just loaded up my website. They didn't know it was done that way, and they didn't care. So so the coding stuff, I will say Stack, if you've used Stack Exchange or Stack Overflow, which is a question answer thing for coders, I use that. I've used that a lot over the several years. If I have a specific question, I've used a site called Code Mentor, where you can basically get one-on-one help with a coder who can help you debug stuff. And it's an hourly type of deal. So I've used that a lot when I get stuck on something. But it's pretty much gotten to the point where I'm able to handle most stuff, but I'm still pretty limited. I mean, I would say the technology I use for ClipScribe is pretty out of date. Really, it's PHP, it's MySQL. It's the same stuff Facebook is built on, but most people that know what they're doing would not build an app on that, technology, because there's newer, better stuff out there. But it's what I knew, and so nobody's ever said a word to me about the fact that ClipScribe's built on this technology because it works. And
nobody cares.
As long as it works, nobody really cares, to be honest with you. So
amazing. Speaking of working, so now that we've been chatting for 10 minutes, the video is ready.
Yep.
You click on the plus, it now loads. You can choose the size of the video. I'm just going to pick something that I've already got a template created.
Yep.
You can see all the different sizes. I usually pick this one or this one. It's usually the ones that I pick.
Yep.
Let's do this one. And then now you'll see there's a whole bunch of templates that are already ready to go for you. So I'll pick this one. And then you'll see right here, it actually is like thinking, basically.
Yeah.
And then it's going to go to the editor. So here it is. It's so cool to be talking to you and knowing, like, I'm going through this now, but like I've got you on Zoom, like you freaking built this shit. Like this is just like so cool.
And I'm sitting here paranoid that something's going to go wrong. I'm like, if anything's ever going to go wrong, it's going to happen right now.
I know, right?
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of the features, just to give people an idea, like here is the closed captions. So you can actually tweak it. So for example, hey, it's around here. I always have to tweak that because my name is unusual. So hey, around here in this video, hey, it's around here. And then I need to say in this video, and then you do little tweaks like that, basically.
Yeah.
And then it will show. There's a timer, which is great. Here you can tweak. So instead of need help with the website, I will say how to create a top quality course. And that will be the headline on the Facebook ads, for example. If I want to make the sizing bigger, smaller, I can just go like this and easily increase it. I can move it up. So it's like really simple, just like Canva works. And then you get the subtitles, basically. And then the countdown, you can also change that. And look, there's so many other features. I'm not even going to go through and show everybody, but this is really how simple it is. You tweak the closed captions. Once you've been through it, you can tweak everything here. And it's done. There's a lot of fonts that you can pick. There's a lot of good stuff here to make things easier. So for example, Poppins is my font. So that's always automatically highlighted as the one that is the main one, which is always handy. You can change the video position as well. So things you can change. The colors you can change. So you can see the top design. If you want to change that, you just click here and then you can actually change the color to be something totally different in the background if you want that. Or you can leave it exactly as it was. Doesn't really matter. And you can always change it around. So anyway, really good software. And for beginners, I mean, my audience is a lot of beginners and they're not, and let me tell you, hiring a video editor, I've probably hired about 15 different video editors in the last 2 years. It is one of the most painful hiring you could do. I've now got a really good process for it, okay? But it's still painful. And when you get a task like that, honestly, why I like a tool like that is very simple. By the time I actually outsource it, give it to somebody, have them bring it back to me, and I have to rewatch it, I could have freaking done it myself anyway. So that's where there's real value in, might as well get it done myself, because it legitimately is fast enough to just do it, basically. So anyone that's running a business who's watching this, in terms of if you're doing any video, probably should, but that's definitely. And I'll tell you another use case. Tell me, I don't know if you've experienced the same thing. I'm going to ask you a little bit about Facebook ads now. Because that's the one pain point that I have. Like I haven't done any Facebook ads successful yet. I've built my entire 6-figure recurring business all from organic strategies, right?
Wow.
That's all I've done. Now, paid ads is how I want to scale. And with the new changes of iOS and stuff like that, I noticed that I saw a video online and it said, if you're not doing video view campaigns to create buckets of people watching your videos, you're going blind.
Okay.
Could you tell me your thoughts and give me a little bit of insights about your?
Oh, I don't know about that statement. I know that was the way to do it several years ago. And since the iOS changes, maybe it's gone back in that direction. So the way the way it was encouraged to do it before was to run a video view campaign. If somebody watched like over 50% of the video, they go into a bucket and then you retarget to those people with your actual offer. I have not had great results with that. And eventually I talked to a consultant who said, don't do it. Just run a conversion campaign and only run a conversion campaign and don't do that extra step. Now, I've had the most luck with that historically. But when the iOS 14 changes came out, it definitely put a wrench in my system, and things did kind of come screeching to a halt to some degree. It's kind of getting better though. And I've played with that technique again, but I haven't really had great results from it. So I don't really know if that's a great way to be doing it, but I would say it's definitely worth an experiment.
Yeah. So you use video ads using videos from ClipScribe, and that's how you run the ads straight to conversion.
Yep. Yeah. My big thing has been to take one ad and get a bunch of comments on it, basically. And I'm not saying that I set out to do that, but as soon as I started running my first ad, I would start to get comments on it, and then I would communicate, and just did really well at communicating with people that had comments. And we would get, I think our first ad had almost 1,000 comments. Wow. before Facebook put a knife in it and took it offline because there was something wrong with the thumbnail. And I was so mad. I was like, are you kidding me? Like, this is the best ad ever. I had 1,000 like really positive comments on it. So I was really bummed about that, and I had to start over. But to me, that's been the thing. Like, some people want to run a whole bunch of ads, but in this case, one ad and letting the social proof build up has been much more valuable to me. And then I'll just use that ad over and over again.
Interesting. Do you mind telling me about targeting? How do you go about your targeting?
That's changed a lot too. It used to be very specific, find your little niche, but nowadays they really don't want you doing that. They want you to be quite broad. Now that may have also changed some. I haven't really seen it change that much with the iOS 14. The only thing that really changed with iOS 14 is that you used to be able to target, retarget based on people's actions on your video, and like the video views deal. But the problem with that is if somebody is opted out of iOS, the iOS 14 stuff, you really can't retarget those people. So it definitely brings those numbers down. You have to upload your own email list or your own customer list, and then you can retarget based off of that. But the other stuff is sketchy. So I've gone very broad. Like, my first audience was just content marketing. That was it. I just did content marketing as my audience, let it go, and let Facebook figure out the rest. And they did. And I was able to start scaling it, slowly. I would just up the budget until it really started to kick in. And then once I had enough customer data, then I started retargeting based off of lookalike audiences and stuff like that. And that's pretty much all I did going forward. So I think keep it broad is what Facebook's telling you to do, and let them do the rest of the work.
Let them figure it out. They already know how to do it so well.
Yep.
Interesting. Do you have any training in Facebook ads or anything like that? You kind of just jumped in, spent some money, give it a go?
Same thing. Yes. Just jumped in. I mean, I definitely have failed a lot at Facebook ads. Google ads was my bread and butter.
Oh, is that right? Because you did PPC.
That's what I grew my first two companies off of, almost exclusively, was Google ads. So when Facebook came out, I was eager to try it, but it was so different, and it did not work the way Google ads did, which screwed a lot of people up, because we all thought it was going to work just the same way Google ads did, but it's totally different. And then the funnel stuff started happening, and people started figuring out how different it is and how you have to come at it a totally different way. And then I started doing it for clients and slowly started to kind of really understand. I mean, the reality is with Facebook ads, most stuff's not going to work. That's what I think. I think most stuff is not going to work. If you have a specific type of product, you can probably sell right away. And if you have the ability to endear people to you over time, you'll probably do pretty well. But with Google, if people are just searching for it already, you're almost guaranteed like you're probably going to be able to get sales from that as long as you know they're searching for it. And Facebook's just it's a lot more finicky. It's great when it works though.
Yeah. Amazing. So you're not doing Google ads for ClipScribe?
No, I did do some Google ads, but at the time, again, there weren't a lot of people searching for subtitles, social media, video. I mean, nobody really even
searchable thing, I guess.
Not really. It's probably improved now, but I'm still not 100% sure. I have an ad campaign set up for it. I just haven't run it yet. I did do some YouTube ads because Facebook shut my ad account down. We were originally called Clip Titles, and Facebook did not like the TIT in the word title, and they kept flagging me as an adult content provider. And eventually it was so bad that I just had to completely rebrand. There's nothing I could do about it. Even after talking with somebody there was nothing. That it was basically like, thankfully I found a guy who did work there before, and he said, look, this is never going away. They're going to consistently flag you for adult content. There's nothing you can do except change your name and change your URL. And That's what I did. And that fixed it. So
that is so interesting.
It was a nightmare.
Never buy a domain name. If you want to do Facebook ads, don't buy a domain name with TIT.
You know, talking about Solopreneur and just risk and everything. I mean, I had seen, and this was still when things financially were still rough for us. I mean, we were still hanging on by a thread. And I had seen that ClipScribe was going to work, but we were still tight financially. And I had even sold some stuff to put money into ads to get it ramped up again. And that's when they shut me down. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Like, this cannot be happening to me right now.
Yeah.
And I just freaked out basically for like 2 weeks. I freaked out. I'd start it up, they'd shut it down. I'd start it up, they'd shut it down. And then I just finally had to say, I do not want to rebrand. What a pain in the butt. But the funny thing is I got ClipScribe, which I think is the only 2-syllable domain name that I've ever owned. So it actually ended up probably being a better name in the long term.
Yeah.
And so it worked out, but yeah, it was very stressful there for a few weeks because
So really,
Facebook was working and Facebook seemed like it was the only thing that I was going to be able to use at the time.
I think also considering your product, it's very Facebook based. It's all about stop, like if somebody's going to stop watching your video, that's the proof that your product is actually good.
Yep.
So I think that's probably why it's also like your specific niche.
Yep. Facebook and Instagram really are kind of the ideal platforms. And LinkedIn, really LinkedIn too. Yeah.
I'm sure that's how I do.
I'm quite sure.
Yeah. I'm 99% sure, but I even remember seeing the ads, or I might have even seen that post with the 1,000 comments. It could have been one of those. Who knows? But
you probably did. Based on when you said you signed up, actually, you were probably after that one, but because I think they shut that one down like in November. But yeah, but you saw something very similar to it, I'm sure.
Interesting. So really, 2 years ago, you were not in a good spot financially and did this startup.
We were still trying to kind of dig out of the hole that we were left in after RevoStock imploded. So yeah, we're doing a lot better. I mean, I had my marketing, consultancy had started to pick up and so things were okay, but they still we still had some months that weren't ideal. I mean, just like any small business, owner, you have times where things go great and other times where they don't. And so that was one of those times where things were kind of snug. And, but yeah, I was very thankful ClipScribe started to take off.
What's your vision for the company? Where do you see yourself? Are you looking to exit? Are you looking to raise capital? Are you looking to just keep on scaling? Are you happy keeping it small and modest? What's your...
Man, that's a tough question. None of those are concrete, I would say. I would not say that I would be completely against an exit, but that's not really my number one goal. I don't really know that I would want to go like the VC route or something like that. It's just not really been my way of doing things, even though after Revo stock, I was the exact opposite. I was like, I'm never doing this again. That was my mindset. Like, I'm never just going to be the solopreneur, only because when that lawsuit hit, it was just me. Like, I didn't even have a board of advisors. So it's like you get hit with this thing that normally hits a Google or hits an Apple, and they have a whole team of lawyers, and it was just me. And so I was like, I'm never doing that again. And yet here I am. So yeah, I don't know. At the moment, I'm just trying to grow as fast as I can, really. Get ahead of competitors, obviously. I mean, that's something that's always on my mind. I want to move quickly and be agile about it and grow as fast as I can and keep helping people make videos a lot easier, keep improving the product. Yeah, that's pretty much it. But I'd be open to all kinds of stuff, really. Yeah,
that's awesome. That's awesome. So I think that's a really good point. Let me just ask you about that. Let's talk about competitors for a second. I have a love-hate relationship with AppSumo, where I get great products there, and some things that you just get garbage. And then there's so many startups now on video, and Instagram just announced their video platform, and there's like a new video tool every freaking week practically. And it happened with funnels as well. And I think, I don't know, I'm not seeing as much funnels recently. I stopped seeing funnels. I think people kind of got the idea, like, if you're gonna start a funnel company, like, you can't half do it because the competition is too fierce. How do you feel about the video and how that's going in terms of competition? Do you see like it affecting the company, not affecting? Where do you stand on it?
I think the video market is just pretty wide open. I mean, it's still very new and it's enormous, and people, it's like when blogging started, that was so many years ago, and still to this day, most companies need a blog, if they're not blogging already. But that took many years for everybody to, for most people to get on board. So I think it's very, very early still. I think the market is pretty enormous. So I'm not super worried about it, but I do, I think about competitors carefully. I try not to focus on it too much because I find it hamstrings me if I do that. But I do like to have a general idea of what's going on with competition. But for me, it's more about connection. I think this time around, that's something that I embrace a lot more. Is somebody said to me, they kind of criticized Revo or ClipScribe because they said your homepage looks more like a course because it has you on there. And that's the kind of the whole point. Like, I want to have more connection, more of a personal connection with my customers. I think that is the one thing that a corporation really can't do is have a personal connection.
Sure.
So that's my goal, is just to build relationships, connect with people, help people, and not really worry too much, about the other stuff.
I was talking to, I love that answer. I was talking to somebody a few days ago, or not 2 days ago, a few hours ago, and she messaged me and she said, because when people join my Facebook group, I send a personal Facebook messenger to every single person.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have a VA do it. I personally do that, right?
Yeah.
And she said, I'm still, and she's been in my group for about a month. She said, I'm still a little bit in shock, but you actually sent me the message. I just want to let you know that it really meant something to me that you actually took the time to do that. And I told her, I said, I think that online marketing, the future of online marketing, and I think it's the present, it's the personal relationships.
Yeah.
Those that are going to be willing to do that extra mile are going to stick around. And those that are going to be too lazy to do that and not be willing to go that extra effort, because the competition, it does, like, there's so many coaches and so many, there's so many funnels now, and people know all these things, tiny offers and all these things, that it's so much more mainstream now, that the only way to stay relevant is to build relationships, actually, and
it's your superpower. And
right.
again, it's, if you're going to compete against a corporation or a VC, that is your superpower. That's right. It. They will never be able to do that, period. Once they start growing and building their systems, they don't need to do it. And so they're not going to do it. But anybody can do that. I mean, it's just a single person can give a crap about their audience and care about them. And yeah, just like what you said, how many emails have I gotten from people who are like, oh, I can't believe that you responded to me. And I'm always like, is it really that bad out there? That, like,
it is bad. Let me tell you, it is bad.
I know it is. I know, because I had the same thing recently. I emailed like three companies that do glasses, because I've been needing some glasses. Nobody responded to me. I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. I want to buy from you. And it's a simple question. So I know that happens, but it just means that if you're willing to do the very basic stuff of just giving a care about people, you will already have an edge over even a big corporation, basically.
Yeah. Totally. I love that. So do you do the tech support yourself at the moment as well? Or you have
I do some tech support.
Yeah, right. I love that.
Thankfully we don't have that much tech support, and that's a good thing. We definitely did when we first started, but it's not something that's a big chore to do, so I still do it. But yeah, so you'll talk to me. If you have trouble, you're going to talk to me, and I'm happy to help you. And happy to help you with your, whatever you got going on. So I'm here.
I love that. That's great. Well, I think this was really cool. Tell me a little bit about, because there was some nasty stuff that happened in your career. You've been doing this for a long time. In 20 is a long time. I've been in the game for just over 4 years. The first 2.5 years, this is how I visualize the people. Just pretend that I'm running a race in the online marketing world. When it was like go to run on the race, what I did unknowingly is I ran backwards for the first 2.5 years. Right?
Oh, wow.
That's how I see it. And then once I realized, I was like, hang on, why am I running backwards? Or I didn't realize I'm running backwards. I then went back to the front, got back on the line, and in the last 2 years I've been running forward. And that's how I've built everything I built.
Okay.
I went from no debt to 55K in debt in 2 years from all my online investments, courses, coaching, whatever, which is why you get the whole high ticket for beginners.
Yes.
And then I acquired a high income skill, which was building websites, which happened only because I paid somebody to build my website. They did a terrible job and ended up fixing it.
Right.
And that's how I ended up. Really?
Yeah. Sounds familiar.
There, and that was September of 2 years ago was the first website that I actually built for somebody. It was the first time I actually built a website for somebody. And that was literally the process. It's evolved from there. I paid off the debt, live off passive income. I got all that sorted. But the ugly stuff for me was that initial 2 years in terms of like I really, I got involved with an MLM, really, not even knowing that it's in MLM. It was really a pyramid, really. And I just had no idea, you know?
Yeah.
And then for you, you just got hit by freaking big ass lawsuit.
Yeah.
How do you recover from those setbacks?
Oh man. How do you recover? Well, I can't speak for everybody. I think it depends. Sure. I mean, you got to have your own motivation. My probably primary motivation was just my family. Right. You know, I have a wife, I have 2 kids. My kids are getting ready to go off to college. So, you know, I just had a fire underneath me and I really did not have a choice. There was no option for me to not do something. Now, I floundered and I did think that I did have an entrepreneurial ego and I thought I was going to bounce back quicker, and I did not bounce back quicker. And I floundered for at least a year afterwards. Right. But I just had to keep going, you know, I just had to keep going and dealing with challenges as they come. I think I will say this, you're always terrified of the worst happening to you because you think it's going to be the end of the world. You know, you have all these things that you think, if this happens to me, it's over. If this happens to me, and that's really not the case. And after I went through all of it, then I started meeting people who are like, oh yeah, I went through the same thing, or I had this same thing happen to me. And I'm like, whoa, you did? And they're like, yeah. And, you know, it was a big struggle. And I started to realize, well, this is kind of normal that people go through really difficult stuff. And so, yeah, you just have to keep going and not give up, really is it. And take one thing at a time, knock it down. And really, I had to get to the point where I could breathe a little bit. And that's when I was able to start doing ClipScribe. Like I had to do things I did not want to do, right? So that I could get to a point where I had a little bit of breathing room, so I could start working on the thing that I wanted to do. Sense. And I didn't want to do websites. I didn't want to make videos for people, but I could do it and I could make money from it. And that allowed me to get to the point where I could work on stuff that I actually wanted to work on.
I love that. Separate to the whole, software and all that, I think your journey, it's like identical to what I tell people. Like the first thing they say, well, what should I do? How do I start? I say, well, number one, what's your living expenses? What's your business expenses? Great. How can you replace that as fast as humanly possible? Mm-hmm. Do you need 3 clients, 5 clients paying you $1,000 a month for a retainer where you're one-on-one in their life helping them? What do you need to replace that income so you can have a breathing room to do whatever it is you want to do? But you got to figure out how to monetize to get that, get the stress or whatever it is, that basic survival. You got to take care of that immediately, as fast as possible, and then you can do a YouTube channel on your crafty stuff or whatever your passions are, and basically figure out whatever that is.
Yeah, you got to do, I mean, for me, when I started doing the marketing thing, I was not a networker. Like I said, I was the guy sitting behind my computer running Google ads. And I learned the hard way that I had to do local networking to get some of these local, these clients for web development. And I hated that. Like I utterly despised it, but I realized, oh, okay, this is how it works for this kind of thing. And I started doing it. And like I said, it started to pick up and I started to get clients, and it's just a step, it's a step-by-step thing. But usually replacing, depending, unless you're a doctor or something, I think most people could get relatively quickly to replace their salary in their job. I don't know that that's as hard as most people realize, or it's easier than most people realize it is. It's only once you do that and then you realize, oh, wow, like that wasn't so bad. Now, where can I take it? And there, I think a lot of people they limit themselves. They have the limiting beliefs, where they're like, oh, I'm good. I just replaced my salary. I'm good. And they don't realize that, hey, you could probably get that to 200,000 or 300,000 a year, and you probably get that to $1 million a year, but your mind is not letting you realize that you could probably do that, you know?
Totally. From the moment I realized how to do things the right way, it took me 8 months to replace my living and business expenses with passive income.
Yeah.
From the moment of, knowing, I'm running in the right direction now.
Yeah, I mean, 8 months. That's not a long time, really.
No, not at all.
It's pretty awesome that's possible, and many people are capable of doing that. But
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, that's been super cool. I actually had you on my list. I was actually looking. I was trying to remember, when did I actually decide, and I realized I know when. It was just over a year ago that I had you on a list to get you on a podcast. Because what I did, I bought a bunch of domains, and I had the renewal coming up this week. One of them is .com. My brand is .com truths. Basically, it's a play on words on .com secrets from ClickFunnels.
Yeah.
.comtruths.com is my website, and then .com truths summit was like, when the whole people are doing summits, I thought I'm going to do a summit, and I don't want to do, because a lot of the summits, people just bring other marketers and they just cross promote each other to build an, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to collaborate with other high ticket coaches. I want to bring software CEOs and get all the CEOs of the companies that I'm a customer for, Elementor, ClipScribe, Stripe. I made a list of all the companies, right? And I was like, I'm gonna one by one track these people down, and I'm gonna get them on a podcast. So that's how long I've had you on the list. So there you go.
I'm glad. I'm honored to be on that list, and I'm so glad you're willing to have me on. I'm super stoked about it. So thank you.
Do you do a lot of podcasts or not really?
I do whenever somebody asks me. So if anybody got a podcast they want to guest, I'm happy to do it. So I don't do a ton, but if somebody asks me, I'm very likely going to say yes. So
interesting. There you go. Okay, let me just do a little offer. So basically, this is the pricing for ClipScribe. Your pricing is so good, by the way, and I got such a deal. I'm actually paying $45 a year. I'll be a customer for life, honestly, like $45 a year.
You got a special deal. Yeah, you got a special deal. That's not around anymore, but yeah, you did get a good deal when that was available. Yeah.
But the offer we decided to do is on the pro plan, the yearly pricing, right?
Yep, the yearly plan, which is $144 normally you pay that in one, fell swoop for a year of access, and so we agreed to do a coupon for $120. So basically $24 off. If you use Eran's coupon when you go check out, make sure you choose the yearly pro plan.
The yearly.
Yep. You can either click the try free button or the Go Pro. I mean, either one. You can do the 7-day trial and still use this coupon. So either one will work.
So click on the free. Make sure this is the annual plan.
Yep.
And what is it again? Around ClipScribe, is it?
I believe it is. Yep.
So let's just make sure.
There it goes.
There you go. So you get a $24 discount for the year. If you do the math, it's $10 a month.
Yep.
It's one Starbucks. Basically.
Indeed.
One Starbucks a month. And honestly, just look, a couple of videos just to set that up. It's going to be worth it right out of the gates. Just that. So I think people will enjoy it. And you know what? I'll do a little sweetener. I'm giving a coupon code. Anybody that buys today without hesitating, because this coupon is valid for 48 hours. So by Friday, this will expire. Well, Friday for me. It's Wednesday, 4 a.m. here. So Friday for me. I'll include either the YouTube SEO course or my client acquisition course. Take your pick. I'll give you whichever one you want. I'll give you one or the other. So I'll throw in a little sweetener. Let me just look at a couple of questions here. So Laura said, is this a video editor or does it totally create short videos? So Laura, you record the video yourself on your phone, you upload it, and then it creates the top header, and it also creates the subtitles. That's basically what it does, and it makes it so it's attention grabbing on social media.
Yeah, you can it is not a traditional video editor in the sense that you're going to put a bunch of clips in and arrange them, yes. but you can easily edit sections out of your video. You literally, it's done block by block, the subtitles, and you just turn off what you don't want. So it's actually easier when it comes to creating this type of content. It's easier than a regular video editor because you literally just turn off what you don't want to say. You read it. Oh, I don't want to say that. I don't want to say that. You can turn off all the blank sections with one button. So you can edit out all the blanks parts of your video where you just pause. So it does have editing tools, but they're specifically for content creators, not for people making films or documentaries or stuff like that.
It's very, this is a solopreneur who created the software for solopreneurs. This is very much like, and you know, this is for solve your own problem where you're not super tech savvy. You don't have time for expensive software. You don't have time to even learn a high quality software or like a full-on software. Like my video editor that I hired, that I paid for the equipment, he's using Final Cut Pro, right? Yeah. So he's using a software that's like freaking, you know, next level. You don't have time to learn that. So this is like, you basically buy ClipScribe, you log in about 5 minutes, you'll know how to use it. It's not a big learning curve.
It's true.
Great question from Leslie. How long can the video be?
Well, there's not really a time limit on it. The pricing is based on your transcription minutes. So you do have a limit in how many minutes. I think for the pro plan, you get over 200 a month. So I think you could create a 3-minute video every single day and you would still have enough minutes for that. But there's not a hard time limit. If you want to upload an hour-long video, you can do that. But again, the sweet spot is shorter videos. It's not really made to edit an hour-long video. So I tell people, you may not like it as much because if I wanted it to be made for that, I would have added in different features. But for short 1 to 5, 1 to 10 minute videos for social media, it's made exactly for that. And that is the sweet spot where I think you're going to get the most out of it. You're going to have that the most fun using it. And I would make those little short videos to send people over to your hour-long YouTube video. Totally. Would be my recommendation.
Totally. I mean, if you're doing a podcast, you want to take a piece of the podcast, that's what it will be good for. Take a piece of it and then create it. And then another thing, Laura, Kajabi does not provide the capability. Kajabi is just a courses and memberships. And it's a totally different use case, basically. So this is much more for the marketing side of things. That's what ClipScribe is for. Kajabi, it doesn't have a video editing in any way. So that's not at all related. And then the other thing, Laura, I will say, also both for you, Leslie and Laura, this is the type of software that you can hire a VA for $5 from the Philippines and say, here's the software. You send them the videos and you say, please make it for me. And you basically can hire somebody, instead of hiring a video editor for $20 an hour, you can hire a video, just a parrot practically, you know, somebody with time who's willing to give their time for $5 an hour, and they could learn this in about 10 minutes. So
I did that myself. So I have a VA that does my videos for me on ClipScribe. I shoot the video, I upload it to ClipScribe. She goes in, she's actually in the Philippines. She edits my subtitles. She edits out mess ups I make. I even, as I'm making the video, I'll mess up and I'll be like, hey, Maria, her name's Maria. I'm like, edit out this part where I just messed up. And she just clicks it off. She just edits it out. She clicks it off. It's not in there. She makes any other changes. She learned to do it like literally in one night. Like I said, here, figure this out. And by the next day, she was editing my videos. So that's how fast somebody can pick up doing it.
So if I make a mistake in the video, I can actually cut that piece out from ClipScribe?
Totally.
Could you share your
for
screen?
sure.
I actually didn't know about that feature. Could you share a screen?
Oh my gosh, it's like one of the greatest features in I should be kicking myself that you don't know how to do this. If you want to edit out, it's this little icon right here. Boom, it's gone. That will not, this 3-second section will not be in your finished video.
If you want to, the actual video part, it
will edit out the video. See, watch. This is here. Wow. Let's take this section out right here. Of course, I don't think you're going to be able to hear it. So posting a single video on social media, right? But what would happen if that one video? Okay, it's a little. You would have to adjust the timing sometimes, but it totally edited that section out. And I can edit. I can select this whole section right here, and I can edit it out with one click of the button. And it's all that whole section is edited out right there. Or
I didn't even know about that feature. When did you add that?
Oh, it's been in there for eons. It's been in there for now. The mass selection, I literally just added this ability to select a whole bunch. I added that like a week ago, but the ability to just turn off. I mean, this is great because a lot of times, like I'll make a video, and like when you start recording a video, and like the first 10 seconds or whatever, you're looking around or trying to find your notes. I mean, I do that all the time. And so that first whole section there is just blank space and it's gone. I just click it off and it's gone. I don't even have to know because usually it's blank, like each of these blank spots. And I can go up here to this option here and I can disable all empty blocks. And watch this, I'll hit that. Every single empty block, I just edited out. So posting a single video.
Got it. And could you put it back in case you change your mind about it?
Yeah, I can re-enable all of the blocks.
Okay, that was a question.
With a click of the button. Yep. Enable all blocks. Yeah, they're back.
I love that. I love that. So if somebody, let's say, signs up and has like a feature request, how does that process work for you? Because I know, like, obviously we don't know. I mean, I know you're not going to take every feature request, but how does that process look for you?
Literally just send me an email. My emails on the help desk are posted on the help desk. So I'll give you an example. I had people ask me to do audio wavegrams for like blogs. I had people ask me to do motion backgrounds behind these bars and to do word by word captions. And so I posted on our Facebook group, I said, which one of these do you want the most? The word by word and the audiogram, the waveforms were the top two. The word by word is coming, but it's going to take a while. But I jumped right on the audiograms, and now you can add an audiogram to your video for podcast, just like that. You can change the colors. So we got that. I mean, right away. So almost all the features, they either came from me wanting it for me, or they came from somebody saying, hey, what about this feature? Now, if you ask for a feature that nobody's ever asked for, it's probably not going to go to the top of the list.
Of course.
But as soon as I start hearing multiple, like I started hearing, I had a guy from the very beginning say, hey, I want these audio waveform things. And I'm like, okay, well, you're the only one that has said that, and it's kind of going to take a while to do it. So I'll do it eventually, but it's not a high priority. And then people started asking for it. And then I'm like, okay, this is a high priority now. And it's funny because I gave him a shout out when I did my Facebook Live about it. And he didn't even know the shout out was in there. He was commenting like, I can't believe you finally added this. And then he called me and I said, did you hear my shout out? He said, no, I didn't even hear your shout out. I was just watching the video. I couldn't believe you finally added the waveforms. So it was pretty funny that he was watching it.
That's
so
funny.
Anyway,
That's awesome.
But yeah, just let me know. So sometimes it's a real quick thing. Like sometimes it makes perfect sense. Hey, Craig, I wish I could do blank. And I'm like, oh, wow, that like would be really easy for me to add. And it makes great sense. And I've done that where like a new feature was added the same day because somebody asked me for it. So if it's something like that, a lot of times it gets added very quickly.
I love that. I love that. Well, I'm gonna think about what am I missing, but I think that's why I kind of enjoyed the software, because I really didn't have any like I'm not missing anything. You know, the right font was there, the branding color was there.
Yeah.
You know, it was easy to use. There was really nothing to complain about, you know.
Well, I have a course that I'm going to be giving away for free as kind of like a lead magnet to get people in to do a trial, but everybody that's a member is going to get it as well. And I'm literally going to show all these little tricks that I use when I make my content. How do I get one video into videos for IGTV, Instagram, LinkedIn, blog? And I'm going to show all my little tricks that I use. So anybody that signs up is going to get that as well. It's not done yet, but I'm hoping to have it ready by next week because I'm going to start running some ads about it. So that'll be included also.
That's awesome. One thing I can tell you from a pain point perspective with my audience, with me as well, I hate freaking tutorials. They take forever to watch. Nobody has time for it.
Yes.
And so on. PDF summaries corresponding that you can consume something in 5 seconds, or like a screenshot makes a big difference. And also searchable content, like there's a software called Searchy where it's searchable. That's also helpful when you got a lot of video tutorials and stuff like that. And then the other thing is that, I don't know, can I add a team member in ClipScribe, like a VA, or is that not?
Not officially. No, I mean, you could share your password. Not, yeah, exactly. You could create a separate account, but no, it's not a built-in feature yet.
Okay, got it. Okay. Yeah, that'll be that's now that I'm thinking, I think this is probably the one thing that I could benefit from, but I just give my VA the password, to be honest. It's not the end of the world really. So they're pretty good. But anybody that's listening, Laura, Leslie, Marcy, I know all of you intimately, and you know, you could definitely mess around with it. Like it's easy enough for all of you to use, but honestly, you'll play around with it for a couple hours. You'll be like, I wish I had a VA do it, and you could hire somebody for $5 and send them a video. And I would do it. I wouldn't even pay them by the hour. I would pay them by the video and say, I'll pay you $5 for a video, and actually just cap it. So in case they mess around with the time, then it's there. But really, there should be no reason why it will take them more than an hour to do it. So yeah, I think it's super easy process.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be going over that in that training, because it's a big part of the workflow that if you can add somebody like that, you can just make your whole life so much easier.
Yeah, totally. Awesome. So again, for everybody that's interested, go to clipscribe.com, go to the middle plan, choose the annual. You could do a 7-day trial if you like, and use the coupon Eran ClipScribe, and then you'll get in the next 48 hours, it's about 20% off, give or take. And that will be for life. That like as long as you're a Managed subscriber, you'll have that discount. So that's all good. I'll throw in a freebie, YouTube SEO course or client acquisition course. Take your pick. Email me which one you like, and that's about it. So thanks for coming, Craig. That was fun. I didn't know. Just so everybody knows, I've never spoken to Craig before. This is the first time we've spoken. I sent him an email 3 weeks ago, maybe something like that. And, I don't even know, like, I don't even think I found a website on you or anything like that. So I didn't have any background, like, you know, the lawsuit, the 20 years, the video startup. I've only found out about this in like the last couple of hours just doing this. So it's been fun getting to know you. I didn't realize how similar we are on the solopreneur mentality, actually. We're very, very similar to the solopreneur mentality, you know, the bootstrap. And I've got a tech support membership, by the way. So the tech support membership, I've closed it like a few weeks ago. And basically, I provide an under 24-hour tech support. And
that's awesome.
I hired VAs at first, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to answer myself. It takes me fast to answer it. I've got 130 people, you know, paying me, where they're paying me $50, give or take, per person, $49 a month. And they send me a question. And if I'm on my desk, I am, because I work from home. I just answer, you know, I record a video or whatever, and that's the business. And it's just so good. I don't wait for a weekly call.
That's awesome.
Anything like that. And, you know, just that solopreneur, like if you're just willing to actually be a bit more hands-on, you'll probably be 90% better off than most people because you're willing to do that. So
indeed.
I love how you're running your business, and I'm sure, I mean, you've got competitors, you already know that, but honestly, like, that personal touch helps, and you got a really good product. You got a really, really good product. So
thank you.
yeah,
I
I'm
sure
happy
appreciate
to promoting it. And yeah, awesome. I don't think we have any other questions. That was the main questions we had. So yeah, we'll wrap it up here. And thanks a lot. Is there anything else you want to tell us before we wrap up?
No, thanks everybody for watching. Like I said, if you have any questions, go to ClipScribe. We got a help desk. My email's on there. You can email me. It's craigl@clipscribe.com. So feel free to just shoot me an email. Happy to answer any questions or help you any way that I can.
Awesome. Thanks a lot.